Rossi's story is a profound example of how love and care can transform the life of a person who has once lost all hope. Her journey began tragically when we received an urgent call for help. Upon arriving at the scene, we came across a heartbreaking scene. A small dog, completely exhausted and without the strength to stand up, was struggling to crawl through the grass. Rossi's look was one of pure terror, and with every movement she made, she screamed in pain. Her fragile body betrayed that something terrible had happened, but her heart, still full of fear, did not understand that we were there to help her. It was impossible to know for sure what had caused Rossi so many injuries. Perhaps she had been hit by a car, or, who knows, the victim of some type of human violence. The fact is that the little dog was in such a precarious condition that every attempt to move her body resulted in screams of suffering. Even so, her eyes begged for help, as if, amidst all the pain, she still held on to a last glimmer of hope. What was most heartbreaking was how Rossi, even in this situation, still feared the people around her. She would cower, trying to hide, as if she couldn't believe that anyone could be there to offer kindness. We named this little fighter Rossi, a delicate name that contrasted with the depth of her pain and fear. At the vet, we discovered the extent of her injuries. Both bones in her hind legs were broken, requiring urgent surgery. The doctors recommended that she wear fixators to stabilize her legs and allow them to heal. It was a complex operation, but there was no other way. Without them, Rossi would never walk again. The next morning, she was taken to surgery. The procedure lasted hours, and we all waited anxiously, hoping that everything would go well. And so it did. The surgery was a success, and Rossi's legs were finally immobilized by the fixators. However, the battle was just beginning. Now, in addition to fighting for her physical recovery, Rossi had to face the emotional trauma that accompanied her. At first, it was difficult for her to accept any kind of closeness. Even at the vet, surrounded by care and affection, she would seek out corners of the room where she could hide from everyone. The first day after surgery was marked by silence. Rossi was exhausted, sleeping soundly after so much suffering. On the second day, she began to move very carefully, still afraid of feeling more pain. And then, on the third day, something incredible happened. Rossi, despite all her fragility, took her first steps. Still with the fixators on her paws, she began to walk, albeit cautiously. It was an emotional scene for all of us. The strength of this little dog was impressive. Each step was a victory, and each movement brought a little more hope. From that moment on, Rossi began to show visible signs of recovery. With each passing day, she gained more confidence, although her behavior was still shy. On the fourth day, it was already possible to see her looking for comfortable places to lie down, something so simple, but that showed how her recovery was progressing. Fear was still present in her eyes, but slowly, she began to trust the people around her. On the 11th day, Rossi took another big step. Now, more confident, she no longer hid in corners as much. She was still shy, it's true, but her gaze no longer carried the same desperate fear. It was clear that, with time and a lot of love, this little dog could finally overcome the trauma that had marked her so much. And so, time passed. At 38 days, Rossi's transformation was astonishing. She had completely recovered from the fractures in her paws and could now walk on all four paws again, as if by a miracle. The fear that had previously dominated her eyes was now almost gone, replaced by a shy curiosity and a growing desire to be loved and to interact with the people around her. She had been vaccinated against all diseases and was ready to start a new phase of her life. Then came the most awaited day, the day Rossi finally found a new family. She would be taken to England, where she would begin her new life, surrounded by love and affection. The nervousness was palpable, both on our part and on hers. We knew that this transition would be crucial for her final emotional recovery. But there was something about Rossi that told us that she was ready. The courage she had shown throughout the recovery process proved that, despite all the suffering, she was ready to move on. Rossi left for England, and her new family welcomed her with open arms. The initial nervousness soon gave way to indescribable happiness. From a little dog who was once on the brink of death, scared and injured, Rossi was now a symbol of resilience. Today, she lives a happy, healthy, and playful life, surrounded by people who love her deeply. Rossi's story is proof that, with love, patience, and dedication, it is possible to transform lives. From a small, terrified dog, unable to walk, she became an example of strength and overcoming. Today, Rossi runs, plays, and lives the life she always deserved, far from pain and suffering. May her story inspire everyone to believe in the power of healing, both physical and emotional. Because at the end of the day, all beings deserve a chance to start over.